ahead and get started. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start the section of our meeting is awards and recognitions and presentations, and we're starting just a little bit different because we have so many exciting things towards the end of the year. We have so many opportunities to share some things that our students have done throughout the year. So what we're going to do is we are going to head outside for the Chaparral 6th grade band performance, after which we will come inside and then continue with our awards for some of our schools. And then at 6:30, or when we are done with those awards, or probably after 6:30, we will go into our regular meeting. So at this time, we'll go ahead and begin, and Mr. Little will be here shortly, and Mr. Hoffman is absent tonight. So we'll go ahead and go outside. If you prefer to stay in here and just listen through the window, that's fine too. You don't have to go outside. Okay, who would ever like to lead us off? And do we want to go in this order? Do we want to go in this order?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Tonight we want to recognize the Higley High School swim and dive team that was recognized recently. They earned the Silver Scholar Team Award from the National Interscholastic Swimming Coaches Association and just missed the gold by 0.02 of a point. This is the 4th consecutive year that this team has received this honor, the Scholar Team Award. And I want to call up the Coach Robinson, and then all of those athletes that are here tonight to be recognized. Coach Cortez is also joining us tonight, and the only team in Arizona to receive this recognition this year. Let's give him one more big round of applause.
President Whitener, members of the board, I'd like to first ask Brandon Johnson from Horace Mann to come up and join me. At this time, we'll be introducing our classified staff employees of the month, and we do this on a quarterly basis. So we'll be honoring February, March, and April at this time. But if you remember back in October when we honored our classified staff, we were missing Art Nunez from Power Ranch. Is Art here this evening? So Art, if you would come on up, and Mrs. Richards, if you would come on up with Art. Art is our facility maintenance worker at Power Ranch, hired back in 2011, so he's been with us for a few years, and we'd like for Mrs. Richards to just share a few kudos for Art.
President Whitener, Governing Board, Cabinet, Dr. Thomason, thank you for having us. You know, sometimes in your life you're just blessed with somebody and you go, why in the world did I get this man? And I want to tell you something. Our campus has been transformed from the inside out. Our classrooms are immaculate. He painted all our halls. Our campus is amazing. When I take people on tours, they go, wow, this is the cleanest campus. This guy does it all. However, a long time ago, I worked for a man, and he said, what if every person on your campus connected with kids? What if your janitors, your plant managers, your nurses connected with kids in a deep and profound way? Here it is, right here. Art is an amazing man, and all my kids know him, and all my kids go to him for counsel. So sometimes I say, Art, these kids need a lesson in respect, and he knows how to give it. So, and they love him for it. So help me in congratulating him this evening.
So I think I said February, March, and April, and it's actually January, February, March. So for January, our classified employee of the month is Kristen Parks. And Kristen was hired back in 2012. She's a speech-language assistant. She's been at Santan, Power Ranch, Centennial. She kind of goes where the kiddos go. So Mrs. Wolf, if you would come up and say a few words about Kristen. And Kristen, are you here? Come on up.
Just say two kind words. I just wanted to say that Kristen is part of a two-person team on our staff. We have over 100 students that receive special education speech services. That's a big amount of students, a big group of students who are serviced every single week. In addition to that, we do a lot of social groups. So that means Kristen is out there working with 5th and 6th graders and 4th graders. They've planted a garden. They do a lot of activities that help students interact and learn how to interact appropriately with one another. And she is just an amazing force on our campus, and we are happy to recognize her this evening and very lucky that she is with us and serving our students. Thank you.
Before I introduced February's Classified Employee of the Month, just want to say a couple of words about Brandon Johnson and Horace Mann and our relationship with them. So you see that he's giving each employee a certificate, and there's a little special treat on that certificate. There's some Harkins gift cards to go along with that. So that's through our partnership with Horace Mann. Thank you, Brandon. For February, we'd like to recognize Alex Wilson, first hired for us as a custodian. Come on up, Alex. And lunch aide. Fairly quickly moved into a custodial position at Coronado Day Custodian. So Dr. Wong, if you'd come up and tell us about Alex. Congratulations.
Alex is an amazing young man. You can see that he's just got such a kind heart, and every child that comes in his way always feels better. I know when I come in the morning, it's so nice that he always asks me, is there something I can do for you? I'm like, I'm special. Alex wants to help me. And he's that way about everything. He truly understands that having a clean building is so important to children feeling safe and protected, and he serves all of the children on our campus and makes them feel special too. So thank you so much, Alex, for your hard work and that you are always trying to make things better at Coronado.
And for the month of March, I'd like to introduce Kelly Hansen from Gateway, hired back in 2011 as the school secretary. I'd ask Dr. Hendrickson to come on along. Congratulations, Kelly.
As an administrator, I can't say enough great things about Kelly, and as my administrators know, you're only as good as your secretary, and we know who the true leaders of our campuses are, and that's our secretary. And so Kelly just does an amazing job keeping me in line, keeping my day going, keeping me structured, and just is a huge support to myself and our entire staff. Last couple of weeks, we've been down an office person, and between her and my receptionist, they have not skipped a beat, and she's doing 2 jobs right now and does this flawlessly. So she's well appreciated at Gateway Point, and we thank you for all of your hard work and service.
So the fun's going to continue with our Points of Pride awards now, and as you know, we've been recognizing a couple of school sites or a couple of departments every meeting, or at least once a month throughout the year this year. And so we have several to still get through in our last couple of board meetings for this school year. So we have several on the agenda for tonight. We're going to start with Cortina. Ask Mr. Cover to come up and turn the microphone over to him. He'll be introducing a student, classified support staff member, certified member, a staff teacher, and a parent as the Points of Pride for Cortina Elementary.
Thank you very much. President Whitener, members of the board, and our superintendency cabinet, thank you for giving us this time to do this and to recognize some fantastic people at Cortina Elementary. I'm going to start out with our fantastic receptionist that just started this year. So if Mrs. Leslie Fessler can come on up. And while she's coming up here, I'll just tell you a little bit about her. She is brand new to us this year. We took her from Cooley. Sorry, guys. But she has done a fantastic job stepping in for a very fantastic receptionist before her. And she has made that transition seamless. So thank you very much. And I'm going to make you stay up here a little bit, okay? All right, next up I have our certified member of the month, and if I could have Mrs. Heather Olmstead come on up. Mrs. Olmstead is our second grade teacher. She is a fantastic teacher, not only in the classroom, but also for our students in student council. She's one of our student council reps, and actually one of her student council members will be coming up here in a minute. So we want to thank Mrs. Olmstead for all that she does in her classroom as well as outside of her classroom. So thank you very much. Next up, we have our parent volunteer, who is much more than just a parent volunteer at our school, Mrs. Monica Coates. Come on up. Mrs. Coates is a volunteer at her school, but in her free time, she also substitute teaches at our school and helps with the PTO and pretty much anything else. One thing I'd like to say about Mrs. Coates is she's one of the most positive people I've met at Cortina. She makes it a point to send emails to teachers, to administrators, to other parents about staff members and incidences that she has on campus that are positive instances. So I really appreciate those emails when I get them, and it really makes me feel good. And last but not least, I think this gentleman, when you see him come up here and you see his smile, you'll see what he does to all the teachers every day when he comes up here. So, Mr. DJ Drinkwater, come on up. Mr. Drinkwater is a 6th grade student at Cortina Elementary, and every day this gentleman does something kind for someone on our campus. So we would just really like to thank him. We're really going to miss him next year when he moves on to Sossaman, but we know he will do great things in the future. So thank you, DJ.
So we recognize our schools, points of pride from our schools, from our departments, and we're also this evening going to recognize points of pride from our programs. So I'd like to introduce Ms. Hughes Wagner, and she's going to share with us the points of pride from Higley Learning Center.
Okay, this is a little odd, but I'm good with it. All right, so this evening I am honored to present Higley Learning Center's Points of Pride. The HLC has been in operation for 6 years as an alternative program for the high school students of Higley Unified. The task of the HLC is to provide a pathway for students who would not have been able to graduate on time with their classmates in a traditional high school setting. Tonight, on behalf of the HLC, we would like to honor Miss Martina Dillo, Administrative Assistant at the HLC, as our employee point of pride. Ms. D has been with the Higley Learning Center since its beginning, but she is absolutely a hidden gem in Higley. Because our program only serves a very limited population of students and families, many folks don't even know who she is. But for those of us who have had the privilege of working with her, we can tell you she is absolutely invaluable. She takes the time to get to know each and every student and family. She goes above and beyond every day for the kids. Because of her support, many students have had the chance to receive their high school diploma and walk in graduation. As a matter of fact, she was an integral part of our summer graduation that we held for one young lady who managed to graduate at the end of summer school. Martina, on behalf of everyone at the HLC, thank you for everything you do all day, every day. Okay, is it okay? Now we're good. Now I'm looking for Dr. Terry Wadawa. Please come up with me. The HLC is a program that we are a program that services both Higley High and Williamsfield, but tonight, for our student recognition from the HLC, we would like to honor Miss Ashley Monroe. Ashley came to the HLC at the start of this school year, and for those of you that don't know, you need 22 credits to graduate high school. She started with 12. Ashley's goal was to walk in graduation this year, and I can tell you that as of this week, her grades are done. She is finished. She is walking in graduation this week in May. She is our first student to finish this year, and we are extremely proud. Ladies and gentlemen, that is 10 credits in 1 year. That is 20 classes for those of you that have elementary kiddos. With her dedication and tenacity, she's proven to herself that she can be a successful student. Ashley's hoping to pursue nursing in the future and is going to college. Anyway, she's going to college in the fall. And we are completely proud of her and love her, and because she is from Williamsfield is why I asked Dr. Wadawa to join us in this celebration. Thank you. I may have turned it out with my finger.
We're running the gamut tonight, from elementary to high school, and now, guess what, we're going to do preschool. So this will be a treat. I'd like to introduce Patty Gleason. And Patty's going to be sharing the points of pride from both of our preschool campuses at Alona P. Cooley and Sue Sossaman Early Childhood Development Centers.
Thank you so much. President Whitener, Governing Board, Dr. Thomason. Oh, is it set? Okay. Flexible in preschool. We do this all the time. Dr. Thomason and Cabinet, and community. I am so excited to be sharing our preschool points of pride with you tonight. And we are actually going to start with our Cooley team and our teacher that we are celebrating today, Miss Cheryl Turner. And please forgive me, but I have so many I had to make notes. But Cheryl, we're recognizing Cheryl today because of her passion for young children and for reading. Because of the tireless efforts of Cheryl Turner, she has actually created 2 preschool libraries, one at the Cooley Sossaman Middle School and the Sossaman Middle School site. So now our students at both sites get to visit the library twice a month and check out books and enjoy some wonderful literature and some story times there as well. So I want to thank her so much. It's a wonderful gift for all the children. So thank you. All right, Ms. Dawn Tunney is our certified recipient, and she wasn't able to make it today. She actually has some out-of-town visitors that she needed to be with tonight, but I wanted to share her with you as well. She is one of our special needs preschool aides at the Cooley site, and again, her passion for young children and her love of them is evident in everything she does. This woman is the Energizer Bunny. She never stops, she never quits, and it shows every day. And she's absolutely wonderful. So, Dawn Penny. Next, I would like to talk about our student that we are recognizing from Cooley, and her name is Paisley Brown. Paisley, come on up. I know, even in preschool. Paisley is a pretty special little girl, and I have to admit, really special for me because I actually had her son Max. I was his teacher a couple of years ago, so how neat for this. Paisley is a delightful young lady. She was selected to represent our Cooley Preschool Development Center for many reasons. She's very bright, caring, considerate, hardworking, helpful, and friendly, all in that little package. Paisley approaches every situation, whether academic or social, with a confident and pleasant attitude. When presented with a new challenge, she can't wait to jump in and tackle it. Her friendliness and kindness to all students has resulted in their enthusiasm to see her each day. Her teacher, Mrs. Legg, was telling me that every day when the students arrive, they're asking, "Is Paisley here yet? Is Paisley here yet?" I know, so wonderful. And at an age when boys tend to play with boys and girls with girls, Paisley breaks that stereotype. She can just as often be found playing with a group of boys as she can with the girls. She's a leader in all that we do and encourages her friends to be their very best and to try new things on a daily basis. Academically, she's excelled at every task and is working above and beyond in every area. She's a joy to have in class and at our school and in our district. Miss Paisley Brown. All right, and then I have the opportunity to I'm going to recognize 2 of our PTO members. One is President Miss Brianna Heffel, if you'll come on up. And if I can have Mercedes Payne also come. She is the vice president from Sossaman. Okay, these 2 amazing ladies are just near and dear to my heart. They are the Take Charge duo right here. They have a big heart and love for all of our teachers and our students and our school, and it shows in everything that they do. Under their leadership, our PTO has blossomed this year. They're a dynamic team that never seemed to run out of ideas for enhancing the preschool experience at each center and for all of our families. And I couldn't be happier than to honor them tonight. So, thank you. Thank you. All right, and now for our Sossaman Center. If I could have my teacher, please, Susie Marcosian, would you please come forward? All right. Susie came to us in preschool from teaching many years in kindergarten, and it's different in preschool than it is in kindergarten. And honest to goodness, Susie just couldn't get enough. Patty, what can I do? What can I read? And I gave her lots of information, and she came in and she observed. And I'll tell you what, it's been an amazing year. She actually has already left her stamp on the kindergarten prep program at Sossaman. She inspires every one of the little ones in her class. And when I go in there now, her classroom is the model that I want to share with everyone. She's so creative in the way that she puts together centers that are just exciting and entice those children to learn all they can. So I'm very proud to honor Susie tonight. Okay, and then our classified is Dolly Clough. Dolly, come on up. Dolly, too, has been in Higley for many years, and she actually came to us from our special needs preschool classroom and came in to teach kindergarten prep. Well, the pace is a lot faster and a lot more demanding, and let me tell you, Dolly stepped up to the challenge. She is amazing with those little ones in the classroom, helping to create centers, working with them on an individual basis in big groups and small groups, and she has just been wonderful. And her smile and her positive attitude make every day a sunny day in preschool. Thank you. Okay, and the last person that we're going to be recognizing tonight is a special student from Sossaman, and his name is Leif Larson. Leif, come on up. He's actually in Susie's class. Leif came to our center in August. He was a shy young man that had trouble separating from the adult that brought him to school. Although Leif has gone through some transitions in his life this school year, he has actually learned all of his letters and all of his sounds. He now writes his name, and he is always working on how to be a good friend, and he is a very good friend in the classroom. He's currently going through another transition, but still has a smile on his face every day, and he lights up the center. Leif, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you all coming and bringing your family members and bringing your kiddos. And this is what Higley is about, and that's what makes Higley great, is everyone working together, and we all have the same goal, and that's to work hard for our students and keep our students our number one focus. So we appreciate you all. What we're going to do is take a short little break if you need to go, if you have littles or teaching plans or whatnot, and we'll take a little break and we'll go ahead and start our regular meeting in about 3 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying. We'll go ahead and start with our regular meeting. I have 1.0, we have roll call.
Good evening, President Whitener, members of the board. Let the record show that we have 4 board members here tonight. Mr. Jake Hoffman regrets that he could not make it tonight due to a serious back injury, but he sends his well wishes to the board, the cabinet, the staff, and the community.
Thank you. We'll have our moment of silence and our Pledge of Allegiance. I will go ahead and move the approval of tonight's agenda.
I'll second.
All those in favor, or is there any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, Dr. Thomason, would you like to go over superintendent's report or upcoming events?
Absolutely. President Whitener, members of the board, we will soon start the 90 days of May with lots of activities and excitement happening around the district. On May 7th, we have the Teacher of the Year event at Wild Horse Pass at 6 p.m. in Chandler. And then we have the work study and next board meeting on May 13th. After that, we will have the Higley High School and Williamsfield High School award ceremony on May 18th, along with the graduation celebrations for the middle schools and high schools coming up on May 20th. Sossaman Middle School will have graduation at Higley High School, and Higley High School will have graduation that same night at 9 a.m. for the middle school and 7 p.m. for the high schools. On the 21st, we will have Cooley Middle School graduating at Williamsfield High School at 9 a.m. and Williamsfield High School graduating at Williamsfield Stadium at 7 p.m. Then on May 22nd, we have the furlough day for all district employees assigned to work that day. That follows up with a 4-day weekend on Memorial Day on May 25th. And then in May 27th, we have the final work study and board meeting for this school year.
Thank you. Just as a note, on Monday, May 18th, those are the senior ward nights. We want to make sure that we have board members at each high school. So, Ms. Walker, if we can send an email out, if those who might prefer a high school, and that to make sure that we have board members at every awards and events coming up. And also, we look forward to seeing everyone on Thursday, May 7th for the Teacher of the Year Awards dinner. And please know that board members, you may bring your spouse as well. So I guess we will, that's the next time we will meet. At this time, are there board comments?
President Whitener,
Ms. Reese?
I'd like to say today is Administrative Professionals Day. And usually I bring something to Cindy, and she probably thought I forgot about her this year. But I didn't. It was really special because we were meeting tonight. So I know I speak for the rest of the board. We would like to present these flowers and this card to you and say thank you.
We'll have to make sure Miss Michelle Reese gets a picture of Miss Walker with her flowers. Thank you very much, Miss Walker, for being patient with all of us. And we're 5 individuals with 5 different needs and perspectives, and we appreciate you keeping us moving forward together. Thank you.
She does a lot for us, and we appreciate it.
I wanted to thank Dr. Fowler for helping put together the district art show, and whoever else was involved with that, I'm not sure, but I attend those things, and I'll post or see something on social media, and people say that's one of their favorite events of the year, and they get a great turnout, and let me tell you, everyone appreciates those cookies too. So even times of budget cuts, those kids appreciate those cookies. But thank you very much. It was a very nice evening. Thank you for the board members that could be there.
Sure. I don't know if I mentioned last month at our meeting, I see Terry, the principal from Williamsfield, out there. I'd like to personally thank you. I know Ms. Reese and Ms. Whitner, we went on a tour of your school, and we saw great things happening in your school, and I thank you under your leadership for that to take place. So thank you very much in reference to that. I also just want to share with you, it's out of, I was at a state relay for life for cancer, and they were talking about these great kids in Higley and what they were doing for the relay. And so I asked them if I could bring one of the bags, and what the students at Coronado, and I'd like to thank the principal for being part of that program, from 3rd grade up on their spare time, the children at Coronado are coloring bags for all the cancer survivors at the Relay for Life that'll take place on May 1st, and which is the largest relay in the state of Arizona. So these are special bags, and they're going to the cancer survivors. So please thank your staff and your students for making a difference in this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
President Whitener.
Ms. Reese.
I'd also like to say thank you to Dr. Fowler, the art show, that it was packed. I mean, it always is every year, and it's a really awesome event. I also had the opportunity to attend the spring musical from Williamsfield last night, and it was awesome. Unfortunately, I didn't get to stay for the whole thing. I had my little one with me who got a little antsy, and I also had my 8th grader with me who is begging her brother to take her to another showing because she wants to see the whole thing. So they did awesome. It was great to go watch, and so I want to say thank you. They are doing a great job.
Okay. At this time, we have requests to speak to the governing board. We value input from our constituents. If anyone would like to address the board, Ms. Walker has some forms with her over there. At this time, we have, can I address Council Member Victor Peterson from the town of Gilbert? Thank you.
Am I facing the right direction? Yeah. How do you do it here?
That's good.
Should I be on that side? Okay.
Well, if you'd like to address the community audience, feel free to turn around as well.
I'm torn, but
you're used to looking that way.
I'm used to looking this way for our public comment, so I'll do that mostly, and you can kind of see me a little bit. First of all, President Whitener and governing board members, thank you for all your service. I just want to acknowledge it. I know that you spend a lot of time, and it's uncompensated, other than the satisfaction that you take away from your work, and I know that you do find joy in that. But that really is a great example of a spirit of volunteerism and service that we love to see in our community, and I just want to acknowledge that. And on that same note, I'm here tonight to briefly introduce a collaborative, if I can say the word, effort to increase that volunteer spirit here locally. The Gilbert Chamber of Commerce established the Chamber for Good initiative, and I'm happy that I am able to serve on the advisory committee for that initiative. But in short, the Chamber for Good is a national effort to connect local donors to local charities serving local needs. Now, the cool part about this is that any Gilbert nonprofit can register and use the site free of charge. This gives them access to the volunteers and donors who have also registered on the site and who receive updates about the needs that those nonprofits post. Now, we feel that as a school, you could participate, your school district could participate on both sides of this service. As a nonprofit, you can register and then post volunteer and donation needs and opportunities. And then also, any of your students or staff that are looking for service opportunities can find them on the site as well. The website is gilbertgives.org, and we would love to have you use it to benefit the students and parents and families that you serve. And so if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm sure you know how to reach me. And we'd love to have you participate. We'd love to have it be of value to you. If you have feedback on how we can make it more effective and successful, we would welcome that as well. So with that, thank you again for your service, and I appreciate the few minutes that you lent me.
Thank you. We appreciate that. We do know something that was very near and dear to Denise Standage, a former member of the board, was service. And I will tell you, at least Sossaman Middle School, those kids are always looking for service hours. And they need to have it in specific areas. So this is another avenue that our middle schoolers are able to get their service hours. So we appreciate the collaboration and the partnership with the Chamber and our town leadership. So we appreciate you coming tonight. Thank you, and we will get that out to as many people as we can. Okay, I do not see any other requests to speak. 7.0 is our consent agenda. I'll go ahead and move that we approve consent agenda items 7.1 through, is it just 7.4?
A second.
Is there any questions, comments, or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And we've approved some, recognize some hires, new members of the Higley team.
Absolutely, President Whitener. With your vote tonight, I would like to introduce the new assistant principal for Coronado Elementary School, Mr. Brian Griggs. Also, with your approval tonight, the long-awaited Director of Finance, Ms. Shannon Deuce. Thank you.
Thank you. We welcome you, and we look forward to working with each of you and sharing positive experiences and success here. We appreciate you. Okay, we'll move on to 8.0. There is no old business at this time. 9.0 with some action information items. We'll go ahead and start with a few information items first. 9.1 is overview of Young Ambassador Program at Centennial Elementary.
President Whitener, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Ibarra, who will do some further introductions.
Thank you.
Good evening, President Whitener, board members, Dr. Thomason, Dr. Nance, community. It is very exciting. A year ago, we came and spoke to you about our peer mediation group. So we thought it was very important to come and talk to you about our Young Ambassadors group, who really were the students who led the A+ committee around and answered all of their questions. So we thought it was important to introduce them to you tonight. But before I do that, I need to bring up my two teachers who sponsor this organization. It is Jan Hawks and it is Denise Kotler, so I'm going to turn it over to them for tonight.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Hawks, and I'm a 4th grade teacher at Centennial. And honestly, I don't want to take any more of their time because they're very excited to be here. This year, they've made me a very, very proud teacher. So we'd like to introduce them to you. My
My name is Denise Kotlars. I'm also a fourth grade teacher at Centennial, and there's no better way to explain what the Young Ambassador program is about than our Young Ambassadors. Come on up.
Good evening, President Whitener, governing board members, Dr. Thomas, and cabinet and distinguished guests. My name is Estefania Sandez, and I am in fourth grade at Centennial Elementary. I am one of the Young Ambassadors, and I am glad to be one. I am going to talk about what the Young Ambassador program is. The Young Ambassador program recognizes students that have been having good manners, going the extra degree, and showing leadership and respectfulness at our school. Everybody enjoys being with teamwork with our members, and we all respect one another, and we each want to say thank you to Ms. Kotlars and Ms. Hawks for guiding us all the way and helping us in this program. And also, this program includes us communicating with parents that have been wanting to discover our school. So all the events that we have, all the Young Ambassadors go into little tiny groups everywhere around our school and introduce themselves and talk about Centennial to the parents and families that come to visit. And we also, no matter what, if we're in the Young Ambassador group, we are all being nice to one another and being leadership and always there for each other and always caring about everybody. I love it. And here is Tori.
Hello, President Whitner, Dr. Thomas, governing board members, and the cabinet and distinguished guests. I'd like to introduce you to how kids get to be entered to be a Young Ambassador. The way to become a Young Ambassador is to have good grades, sorry, I'm having a hard time. Okay. To show that we can give good behavior to other kids, and at least represent good grades and good behavior to our class, and be a good example to our peers. Each student are chosen to be a Young Ambassador when they're in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade. Once they're in the Young Ambassador group, okay, I'm really having a hard time on this. Now I'm going to turn it over to Natalie.
Hello, everybody. My name is Natalie Martin, and I'm in 4th grade in Mrs. Hawks' class. I'm going to be telling you a little bit of something on what we've been doing as a Young Ambassador. So, some of us know that us three took the A+ on a tour, and we also go to the events like Carnival, the STEAM night, and we greet people and tell them goodbye and thank you for coming. And so when we have our meetings, what we usually do is team building activities. So how we do that is one time we got noodles that were cooked, and then we got marshmallows, and you had to build a tower, and you had to have a little piece of paper, and a Smurf had to stay on it, and we worked together as a team on that. And I think that's all.
How many students are in the ambassador program?
At least we might actually have at least 20 students. Or 26.
And is it just fourth graders, or is it fourth, fifth, sixth?
Fourth, and sixth graders. At
When-
least 2 kids from each class are chosen. 1 boy and 1 girl.
When do you guys meet?
We meet sometimes we meet every second Wednesdays of every month, and sometimes we can't do the meetings, but we always organize it, and we always meet together.
Thank you. Do you guys, do you tell your friends about it and you want them to be a part of it too?
Yeah, sometimes. I know I do, and I tell my friends, I say, well, you should probably show good character so then you can be a young ambassador next year, and it's a really good program.
I'm sure you recognize.
Want to be a young ambassador.
Yeah. And sometimes I just tell them if they don't get chosen, doesn't mean you stop acting the way you've always been acting. Just act like you're acting 212. Just go the extra degree.
Right, that's what I was going to say, because you guys can recognize other kids who have good character, right?
It's also allowed for one young ambassador to be chosen again the next year.
Can I just say I'm totally impressed with you? I'm in awe. And I'd like to know, is any family members came with you this evening? Could they stand up, please? I'd like to see parents. Parents, you did a wonderful job. Yes. So thank you so much. Can we have a picture with you? Can we do that? We'll come down to you guys.
Thank you very much for coming. We're very proud of Centennial and all those different opportunities for students to be engaged and connected on their campus. Okay, we'll go ahead with 9.2. It's just information for the governing board members with our monthly financial report. Were there any questions or comments for Mrs. Smith? Next month, will we be directing them to Mrs.
Yeah, Shannon and I are working together. I got a little sick today, so probably going to be around next Monday. But next month we'll be bringing more information.
Thank you. Is the last name Deuce? Okay, thank you. 9.3, information item, with overview of administrative benefits and pay for performance plan.
Good evening, President White and members of the board, cabinet, community. Tonight we bring you information on administrative benefits program and pay for performance. This was brought back this year due to the calendar change and a need to take a look at the benefits package that we have for administrators in the district due to the 2 weeks of fall break and 2 weeks of spring break change. So I'll turn it over to Ms. Sheila Swornson for more information.
President Whitener, members of the board, I believe that we have that presentation coming up there, and perhaps you have it also in front of you. We've talked to the old timers, I guess you could say, in the district, and know that administrator benefits have been included as an element of the administrator total compensation package since before 2008. It's not a new thing for the Higley School District. They are given as a part of that total recruiting package, and we know that without those additional benefits, we are not that we wouldn't
not that we would not be, we are not competitive with our neighboring districts and or with many of the other districts throughout the state. There's a question about the competitive edge. One more slide. And so we know that we've lost at least 10 administrators. They've been recruited to Chandler over those last 8 years, even while we've been offering these additional benefits. And even thinking a little more broadly than that, if you take those 10 administrators that we know we've lost to Chandler, they're taking their top 3 to 5 teachers, other staff members potentially with them. So it's somewhat of an exponential loss to our district, upwards of perhaps 50 teachers. We also know we've lost other top administrators to our close neighbor Mesa. The next slide outlines for you just really the closest neighbors that we have and where the top of the base salary. So there's typically, a base salary that teachers, administrators, everybody earns. The top of that, as you can see, even when we top out, we're lower than those neighboring districts. The additional benefits, as much as I could find out, I've called around to most of those other districts, have some meetings that I go to, HR collaboration meetings, and what I learned is that anywhere from about $6,000 to $8,700 is what would be considered like an administrative stipend. There are some districts that have higher salaries. They're based from the get-go, their overall salary for the administrator without additional benefits. It suits the market and makes that district competitive because you don't need the additional benefit in order to earn the exact same amount of money. Some of the districts include pay for performance if they give a stipend or a supplemental, and other districts provide a stipend above and beyond an administrative stipend for pay for performance. On the next slide, what you see is a listing of stipends and or supplementals that teachers in the Higley School District have the opportunity to earn as compared to stipends or supplementals that administrators in the Higley School District have an opportunity to earn. Most of them are pretty self-explanatory. That little educational acronym up there, NBCT, is for the teachers who are nationally board certified. They receive a stipend for that. That's a $2,500 yearly amount of money. On the next slide, trying to keep as much as I could so that you see it all on one slide. We've talked on several occasions kind of about what an average teacher salary is. And then if you add in to that average salary, the total cost to the district, so their benefits, their insurance costs, their retirement, their Social Security, all those additional benefits, takes them to about $57,000. Administrators, conversely, if you just look across, have an average salary of about $88,000. Those same additional benefits, insurance costs, and Social Security and retirement and whatnot takes that total cost to the district for an average administrator to $114,000. On the previous slide, we talked about available teacher stipends. So if we put those in there, about a total opportunity of about $8,900, $8,975, considering that they get the Prop 301 money. That's the two allocations that we give in December and June. For next year, we've told the board that it'll be about $1,250 in December and June. So there's where you get that first $2,500. The second $2,500 is the pay for performance allocation. There's the possibility for national board certification. There's the opportunity for teachers to earn additional $500 with a master's degree or other advanced degree. Teachers get to participate in what we call salary advancement, so they can turn in classes that they've taken, in-district credits, out-of-district college credits, and we use a formula to calculate an additional amount of money every single year. We have teachers who earn probably upwards of $2,000 for doing that. I put $975 in there just probably as about an average. So looking at that then, the percent of total compensation that can be earned from stipends, so $89.75, that's 16% of the $57,000. They have that opportunity. For an average teacher, probably about 10%. What I did to figure out the 10% is take out the national board certified, because they aren't all going to get that $2,500. And then I also took out the advanced degree. I took out the $500 because we have lots and lots of teachers with master's degrees, but not all. So to take those two things out, still that stipend amount is 10% of the total.
For administrators then, going across the slide, they have the opportunity for total stipends of $9,500. That's our proposal for next year. Out of that, $3,500 would be for pay for performance, and then the administrative stipend of $6,000. So taking that amount of money, $9,500, it's really 8% of their total compensation is earned for them through a stipend or a supplemental. The next slide outlines our proposal, sort of summarizes it for next year. A slight decrease in the stipend that administrators will earn next year, implementing the pay for performance option across all levels of district administration, a decrease in the vacation days, as Dr. Thomason noted at the beginning, that 2-week break in the fall and the spring. We have decreased the total amount of vacation there. Are also proposing a future stipend decrease with new hires. So as we hire on perhaps new directors, new director level 2 folks, that there would be a decrease in those stipends. Also the future vacation decrease. So an overall potential savings for next year of about $42,000 with those decreases, and then future savings as we hire on and don't give quite the level of benefit of an additional $27,000. The last slide says, well, we're cutting, and again, we're cutting, so that amount of money that I just outlined there, the additional $42,000 was not reflected at all over the last few weeks as we have brought budget cuts to you. That's above and beyond any of the previous proposals that we brought forward to you for cutting at the district level. Our competition's adding. So Gilbert, J.O. Combs, Chandler, they're all giving base raises, so that's across the board. It wouldn't be just to administrators. Anywhere from 2%, and today I heard a little bit less than that. I think I heard 1.6% from one of our neighboring districts, all the way up to a 3.5% increase to the base salary. Administrators in other districts are being awarded credit for advanced degrees, so I know that you all know several of our administrators over the last year or so have earned their doctorate degree. It's a great honor. It was a great cost to them. They don't get a single penny more from us for earning that doctorate degree. Credit for longevity, that's being awarded in some of our neighboring districts. So on top of, let's say, the 3.5% that one of our close neighboring districts is giving, on top of that, then they're also giving long-standing employees even more than that amount of money, the credit for longevity. We think it's important that we continue to have the benefits and the pay for performance built in for our administrators for the sake of stability. We've got a lot of change happening next year. And so we'd like to be able to keep as many of our top-notch administrators, our number 1 and number 3, and tied for number 2 middle school administrators in the state. We'd like to have some stability at those schools and with those programs. And we talk a lot about growing our own, and we think that that also ought to mean keeping our own as we move forward.
Thank you, Mrs. Sorensen. Are there any questions regarding the information item or the presentation? Okay. 9.4, we have a second read, and this is a policy IE, organization of instruction. We first saw this as a first read last meeting. Are there any questions or discussion on the second read? Okay, I'll go ahead and move that we approve policy IE.
Support.
Sorry, now I should say any questions or discussion.
Nope.
All's in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, 9.5, we have approved new job description for media center aide. Maybe a staff member could just highlight maybe some of the specific responsibilities.
President Whitener, members of the board, what we're bringing forth to you is the job description. If you were to have the media center technician job description, that job description is the middle school media center technician. There are several bullets in that job description that are a bit of a hybrid of like a bookstore manager. So those are not in here. Many of the remaining tasks of our middle school technician are in here. So the checking out of books, the serving as a resource to teacher, the guiding research and instruction in the library,
inventory, those kinds of job responsibilities are all in here. So this position, as it existed before, was library aide was the name of the position. We've talked about the transition from libraries to media centers, because they are more than just a book center. They really are very research and technology centered. So that's the reason for the change in title. The previous library aides were not full-time employees. This is a full-time 8-hour position, so that we are balancing the coverage of the schools with this full-time position split between 2 or more schools with the media center specialist position.
Is the pay scale similar, just increased a couple hours?
Yeah, as
Or
we
is
have
the-
it right now, the placement on the salary schedule is the same. It's an increase in hours, which then is also going to come with benefits. The 5-hour position did not include medical or insurance benefits.
Okay. Thank you. I'll go ahead and move that we approve the job description for media center aide.
I'll second.
Oh.
Okay. Was there any questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. (9.6). I will move that the governing board approve the issuance of certified administrator contracts with benefits and pay for performance as presented.
I second.
Is there any questions or comments in addition to what was presented under the information item? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Administrators, we're happy to keep you, and hopefully you will keep us too. Thank you. 9.7. I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve classified administrative contract with benefits and pay for performance. And board members, you see those listed under this classified section. Need a second if there's any questions or comments.
I second.
Thank you. Any questions, discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. 9.8, we have approved certified employee contracts. This is, it is 100% teachers, correct, Ms. Sorensen? These, you have the lists in your board packet. I'll go ahead and move that the governing board approve the issuance of certified employee contracts for the 2015 and 16 school year.
I second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? I do have one question. If there's not a teacher name on here, does that mean they are possibly a teacher that has been affected by library cuts or the gifted cuts and they have to re-interview?
I don't know. I don't know of a line that was missing a name.
Okay. Should every gifted teacher be on here? And every librarian?
They should be, because they all currently have positions in one way or another. They were media center specialists, if you remember, at the end of February, were all assigned a position. So they have a position.
Okay. I have one concern. So maybe we can approve the contracts and one that she can look into.
Okay, you bet.
Do you accept that amendment? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Just a point of clarification, do teachers have 14 business days, or is it just 15 general days to turn in contracts?
It is 15 days.
15 total days.
Yes.
And does day one start tomorrow?
We're not delivering contracts until Friday.
Okay. Thank you. 9.9. I move that governing board approve the issuance of classified exempt staff offer at will employment as presented.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. 9.10. The governing board approve the issuance of classified staff offers at will employment. Mrs. Sorensen. Oh, sorry. 9.9 was exempt. 9.10 is approved classified staff offer at will. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 9.11. These are our certified licensed specialists, our counselors, psychologists, speech pathologists. I move that the I move that the governing board approve the issuance of certified licensed employee contracts. Occupational therapists, physical therapists, speech and language pathologists, speech and language therapists, and psychologists. Contract for 2015-16.
I support.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. 9.12. I move that the governing board approve the agreement with Smart Schools Plus Incorporated to provide personnel to fill the district positions for current employees or additional new employees as appropriate. Second. Mrs. Sorensen, can you just do a kind of brief update just for new board members of exactly what
President
Smart
Whitener,
Schools.
members of the board, this is an agreement that we bring forward each year. At this time, we don't have any employees who are Smart Schools employees. It gives us the option to hire, if it's the best qualified candidate, someone who has already retired and is coming back into the system through the third-party vendor, and the contract is with Smart Schools.
So at this time, there is no one under that, but if we prove it for the year, if someone were to come on board, that allows us to hire someone if they are using Smart Schools.
Absolutely.
Any questions or comments?
President Widener.
Mr. Little?
And this is for clarification. So this is someone that's not participating in the Arizona retirement system, and it gives them an opportunity to be hired and have a retirement plan as part of their employment?
They have retired from the school system.
Oh.
And then come back into the system
And
as
the
a
state can't
retired
rehire
person.
them because they're double dipping, basically. Right, okay.
Dr. Thompson?
That is correct. So that is for a 1-year period of time. Then after the 1-year period of time, they can come back on as a district employee.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. 10.0, future agenda items. I would just like to add and keep it on our calendars. Dr. Thomason, we'd like another day or so, board planning and goals in the summer, that it's just, as we keep that on our calendars, and we might need to start organizing days for that. Are there any other requests for future agenda items?
President Whitener.
Ms. Reese?
If we can kind of work on that goal setting sooner than later, since if we're going to be setting goals for next school year, to be able for us to have time to get together, set those goals so they can be distributed out.
Absolutely. President Whitener, members of the board, I'll work with Mrs. Walker to set a time and date up with the board so we can get together sooner rather than later to start setting those goals and working on those goals.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other agenda items, suggestions?
President Whitener,
Ms. Reese?
I move that we adjourn.
I'll second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Good night. That's what.
So what do I do with this lawsuit? I just nothing. Okay. Okay. I gave mine to so she can give it to the attorney. So they have mine. Oh, they do?